2020 GSL Season 3 Korea's Last Stand.
Welcome back, everyone. Armani versus SOS is up next. We just finished Cure versus Bomber. I guess you could say it was a lackluster best of three. Cure crushed.
He looked better.
He looked better in every way.
Bomber put up a fight game 2, though. I think game 2 is pretty cool.
Game 2 is definitely better than game 1. I think every other game in the season is going to be better than game 1 back there.
Yeah, it might be.
So, Armani versus SOS. Armani is, I would say, in the lowest tier of Code S players. There's a couple other players. We could group him in there. He's a player who qualifies for GSL, tends to not get very far, but this guy is good. He has been improving.
Yeah, you know who he reminds me of a little bit is like Ragnarok a little bit more than a year ago, like a year and a half ago, where I'm like, oh, he actually has the potential to rise up. He seems like a player that could be very good, and I do think, because I believe he's actually one of the guys that finished military service already, so I think he's going to be a player that in the future is dominating in Code.
I totally agree with you.
Because he has like a limitless time frame, right? But like, is he going to do well this season? I think it's not impossible for him to get out of the group. I think it's tough, but it could happen.
Yeah, there's all these players that are good enough to qualify for GSL, but do not seem to be close to even getting a top 4 or a top 8. You know, they get here, and this is what makes StarCraft exciting, is that there is such a difference in skill at every level. You know, it's hard to do everything perfectly, and this is a really good example of that. So, look, SOS should win this, but let's see. SOS also has had a really bad showing this year, but we're in the second half of the year. That's, for whatever reason, that's when SOS goes into beast mode. It's a full moon. He turns into a werewolf here.
Yeah.
All right, guys, game 1's ready. Armani versus SOS. Let's go. Right now.
영광의 전투가 펼쳐진다. GSL을 위하여. 전투 지원이 들어왔다. 함께 우린 더욱 강하다. 아프리카 프린스 아르마니 박진. 지니어 그린스 SOS 김유진.
You were mentioning Ragnarok a little bit earlier. Ragnarok actually did a little interview with Armani on his YouTube page here.
That's cool.
Armani's living with Special right now. They're roommates.
Yep.
Where are they living? Are they in Incheon? I think so.
Yeah, they live in Incheon.
Incheon's like...
or maybe Bucheon, I'm not sure.
I thought I might be wrong, but basically Incheon's just like the city next to Seoul.
Yeah.
In some cases, people just count it as Seoul, but...
Most pro teams used to live in that area. It's, really reasonable on housing.
Yeah, rent is much cheaper there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, Armani's talking about it. It's hard to be a, you know, where he's at as a pro, it's hard to get by.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, this is kind of like, when people ask me about esports and what it's like financially, I oftentimes compare it to Broadway, where, you know, there's like some people that are doing very, very well.
Yeah.
But there are people that are just getting by.
Yeah,
or barely getting by.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, all these people that are doing these Broadway shows where it's like, yeah, man, I mean, this person's putting everything into this, but they do not have a major role in the play, and they're doing it because they love it, and they're dreaming big. And that's kind of where Armani's at right now.
Totally. I think it's a noble and worthwhile pursuit.
Yeah.
But it doesn't always work out for everyone. Not everyone's making good money off of it, that's for sure.
And so for a player like Armani, like, this tournament is like everything. I mean, granted, it's of course important for all the players, but this is really like, I need to do well in this GSL. If I can do well, I get more sponsors, I get more money.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, the teams are a big part of that as well. See how he does here. I think it's a tough match. SOS block match, I love it. But yeah, like I mentioned, SOS is in good shape right now. He's up at the top of the ladder. We just saw him doing the probe harass him on the minerals. He kept that up for a long time. That's really hard to keep up for a long time while juggling everything else. But we're going to see top-tier SOS here. You know, he's going to bring his absolute best because, believe me, he wants to be at the World Championship.
For sure.
Know, he's a player that doesn't deliver all year long, but he always delivers big at least once. All right, so he's gone up to 3 gates, which is kind of cool. It's this particular build, though, where you go gate in the main and core in the main, and then you wall in the natural. He's one of the original people that would do this build, which is kind of funny. It's feels like StarCraft 1-esque, kind of. Like, just like it's steady. You're not spiking up into tech. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like, and this is apparently just a way PvZ's been for most of the time, but like Protoss is trying to do a whole lot with very few units while teching.
Yeah, and
you know,
here you get more units and tech a bit later.
Yeah.
And I mean, in theory, it can work, but I think it's a little bit difficult to do, right? You're not getting quite as much scouting intel, but if you keep constant pressure on, you should be able to kind of make it work. And the fact that he's doing a build like this, I find really interesting as well, because it is kind of hard to do and off meta.
Yeah, so that did not go well at all. Even though he did save 4 Adepts, most of them are pretty badly bruised, which means they can be killed off later on. So, you kind of, as you were explaining this, the example came to us right here. You know, it's harder to make this work. Mm-hmm. You are teching a little bit slower.
Well, he's got an Oracle now. He's making a Phoenix. You know, he's getting some Glaives. Okay, cool. I'm down. Where are we going to go with this, though, right? He's getting a couple more gases, so he clearly has some more plans.
Good catch on the drone transfer here. He's got to be careful. He might end up losing that if he can't get that out now. And I will say the damage that's been done here by SOS is pretty lackluster, to be honest.
Yeah, he hasn't done much yet.
You actually need to do a little bit more here, or you're not going to get into any kind of good position. And again, the Ling block here forces the Shade out.
Yeah, they kill a few Lings. He doesn't actually lose any, maybe a little bit of hull damage on some of them.
Yeah.
Glaives almost halfway done.
The Robo's coming along here as well.
What an interesting play.
What's funny is that he's still being aggressive with the Adepts, even though he knows Glaives is far from finished, right?
Yeah.
So this is like almost 4 kills.
Yeah, that one was
so
a bit weird.
Usually,
but, he got a huge stasis ward off during that. Okay.
But usually, if you're going to have Glaives finish, you don't want to be too out in the open with your Adepts, because if you lose them, then you have this upgrade that's done.
Yeah.
And hardly any units that you can use the upgrade with. So it looks like the Glaives are going to finish now, and now we're going to see what kind of damage can be dealt. Again, it seems like every season of GSL, the Zergs are getting better at dealing with Adept. Glaives or no Glaives, just the movement in general.
Well, you know what? This is such a different way to go about Glaives. I think Armani's actually caught off guard a little bit. Like, he's like, well, I already killed all the Adepts, and people would have Glaives already. But here SOS is, right? And
yeah, it's this timing that comes out that's so awkward because it almost doesn't make sense.
Yes.
You know? This is one of these weird things.
It's so far from what everyone's doing.
Yeah.
It's incredibly far away. And look, I mean, he's forced a decent amount of Lings. The drone count's not that high, right? We're sub 60 drones. It's very different what we're watching here, but enjoyable because of that, I would say.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing what kind of game we're going to have from here. There's 5 more gates coming down. The Forge as well as the Warp Prism are coming. We have some Ravagers being morphed over here, although I don't know if Zerg wants to be aggressive anytime soon. I don't think Zerg can be aggressive, to be honest. It seems like the tech is pretty... Well, I'm saying that, but there's more and more roaches being made. Maybe he does want to try to come in here.
Gosh, tasteless.
Fleet Beacon.
Yeah,
Look at that.
Like, are we going carriers? That would be a very SOS
type
thing to do.
Well, let's remember when we saw Australia
he's
play.
making 3 Stargate? He actually
go
might
carrier.
go Void.
Oh,
he
really?
might go Void here.
I was thinking carrier, man. Are you sure?
No, I'm not sure, of course.
I think it's going to be carrier. Think of the Australia game.
Yeah?
Where he did this. By the way, is this going to get scouted? Oh, my gosh.
Why does he have multiple probes stuck there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does get scouted, so that's a fantastic scout. Let's see what he makes.
Yeah, I thought it would be carrier, just a very slow game. You try to carrier up and just try to control your side of the map.
At first I thought carrier, and then he added the third Stargate, and it kind of made me feel like it could be Void Ray.
As far as money goes, I think you're right in that 3 Stargates seems like you could pump out Void Rays on 3 bases, where 2 Stargates seems like you pump out carriers on 2, but maybe not.
He's making carrier.
Carriers.
It feels like it makes more sense to go carrier in this type of position because, yeah, the Void Rays, like, really still aren't that good as much as people say they are. Okay. And look at that. He had constant vials going down, so you couldn't even force field right there, but SOS didn't even try to force field. Looks like SOS so far holding pretty darn well.
This is a serious amount of units, though. If he can get that pylon, he'll unpower the Robo over there as well. Good counterplay just to Adepts. But the Warp Prism goes down. The Adepts will be killed off with ease. But the Zerg has backed off on that attack on the opposite side of the map that we were watching earlier. It's gone. Never got the pylon. I think Protoss did lose some sentries back there, but he survived, so I think it's excusable if you don't. By the way, that's unfortunate placement. You don't normally see this in a StarCraft 2 game, but yeah, that does lock in.
Well, in StarCraft 1, you'd have to be a pro gamer to block in your main like that, you know? You have to really know things.
Yeah.
Instead of make a mistake and do it. All right, so some Hydras are out, Vipers are out. But, I mean, I guess Harpoons are what you're kind of looking out for. SOS is getting Charge. He's getting Storm, so he'll have feedback. I think the Vipers are really the key unit he needs to be very careful about. Because, I mean, you can beat Hydras with carriers. That is absolutely doable. Yeah. It comes down to the spellcasters that get a bit scary.
Yeah, well, if Storm comes in here, then absolutely you can take on the Hydras here.
Oh, yeah, well, especially then, yeah.
So air weapons is coming. SOS going for very defensive play. Notice the supply difference. It's going to be, you know, 3 or 4 more minutes before SOS can even get close to maxing out. He's going to have plenty of time here to try to just play the defensive game. And not corking the entrance to the natural is how stuff like this happens. And
we need a door. Yeah, that's kind of weird to see those Lings just get in that easily.
Yeah, well, considering how much damage this can do.
What do you think about the fact that he's actually stopped making flying units? Like, SOS is so next level this game and so different from what we're used to.
Yeah,
like, he made 3 Stargate carrier and then stopped.
Yeah, 1 Stargate for each carrier. And then
he wanted them at the same time.
And then he just makes other stuff.
Yeah.
Now, I thought for sure we'd see another wave of carriers come out here, but I guess 3 is the magic number, but you need them all at once. I'm not sure, guys. I really don't. Sometimes SOS plays in such a way that I've just not seen it before.
I think it has to do with mind games as well. Like, if your opponent starts going, like, anti-carrier, right, which would be like spellcasters and Hydras or something, if you spend all your money on Charge Lot Storm, you'd probably do really well against that, right?
Yeah.
You're just like, yeah, I don't know, I storm your stuff and then charge into it and it's dead. So maybe it's just like a mind game type situation, like if it doesn't get scouted, he makes more.
What tech do you want to fill in with the remaining 50 supply here? Oh, I guess he answers it. 2 more carriers are coming now. All right.
Well, it's stupid to try to guess what SOS is doing. Every time we do it, we get in trouble.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is he made the carriers, then stopped, made everything else. Now he's back into making the carriers again.
I'm down.
This is like if you're driving a car, this is a stick.
Yeah. Do have to mention 3 Spires for Armani. So he is going to be going double upgrade plus greater Spire here, which is kind of cool. Again, I'm down. This is such a different game. It's very exciting in that way. You really don't see PVZs that look like this.
Well, it's cool in the sense that, you know, defensively it seems actually pretty easy to hold, right? As long as you have your natural and stuff like that blocked off. But it does.
You mean as Protoss?
As Protoss, yeah.
Yeah.
But honestly, the lack of any map presence here is what worries me. It seems like you're just giving Zerg the entire side of the map in a way that is unprecedented.
Well, it seems like SOS is building to the army he wants to try to win the game with, I guess.
Yeah. Eventually, SOS is going to have an army that should be pretty insane. And we just got to wait and see what exactly that's going to be. We have the Mothership coming out now.
Okay. Cool. You know, that's a lot of Archons, so that is going to really wreck Corruptors that come on top of the carriers. Yeah, I am wondering how this will end up looking, because I've definitely heard people talking about if Protoss can get to the end game, if you can actually get into some of these Skytoss armies, they actually do quite well against Zerg nowadays.
Yeah.
We just never see anyone get there. In this game, definitely sOs is almost to the composition he wants, right? He's very close. And you can see him setting up fallbacks. See that blink upgrade? That doesn't cost that much to get. But if you're already getting attack upgrades, sometimes you'll get into a funny situation where it's like, okay, well, you lost your army, but you can suddenly make 20 stalkers and go kill the Zerg. You know?
It's a very odd situation.
Yeah, you don't see it often, but it's cool that he's getting it, just in case.
Okay. An attack comes in over here. And that hatchery was cleaned up pretty easily. I don't think Zerg's too worried. You know, this map, like actually almost all StarCraft 2 maps, but we got to point it out anyways. You know, Protoss can fight that area over there, but Zerg just expands to the other side. And so, oh my gosh. I think he could have gotten that. But he backs off.
Okay.
Thing is, I don't feel like Zerg is going to be controlled very easily here. We're going to wait and see because we're almost to maxed out. We're going to see the exact army that SOS wants, but then we need to see him actually use that army to get an advantage. Surviving is not enough.
No.
Surviving is not winning a game. That's just delaying a loss here. We need to see SOS actually push out, actually do damage, and then see how the Zerg will respond.
I wonder, okay, it looks like the robotic support that he's getting, I think that this is just going to be for some disruptors to help bust these turtled positions. I was about to say that, oh, okay, he's getting observer speed, which I think is probably a good idea to get that. You just can't put it on your hotkey. You got to just make it follow everything. But I was going to say, like, maybe it would be cool to get 4 Tempests to start just nailing down Spores with their new upgrade.
Oh. Okay, actually, he did not kill the mothership at all. There was a very bad engage there by Armani.
Yeah, not so good.
Seemed like everything was staggered just a little bit. He's going to try to come in here for a dive. You've got to be careful with those Corruptors, because if you get under the Archons, the Corruptors are going to disappear.
Oh, yeah, Archons will just murder them, and he has so many right now.
And look at this. He's very, with a lot of precision here, slowly moving through and tearing this open.
Side.
And now the question is, can he actually pry open the Zerg and start to do damage? There's still these little scuffles happening just outside of the bases here, but we need to see him continue to push in. By the way, both sides, in this case especially the Zerg, are banking up a lot of minerals and gas here. There's a decent amount of minerals, not that much gas here for SOS. SOS getting closer and closer.
I love the Ravagers burrowing right there. It tells him exactly what was actually on the hotkey. It's like, oh, okay, there's lurkers over here. Okay.
Yeah. Think of all. We almost never, ever get to see that.
A Ravager burrow?
A Ravager burrow, yeah.
Once in a blue moon.
Yeah. Okay, coming across the map now. Good feedbacks here. Lurkers are present. I'm sorry, where's the observer? Oh, there is one observer, I see, just to the right.
Yeah, you have to click it on your flying units when you go for observer speed.
Yeah, because otherwise it'll fly into
everything.
stuff.
Yeah, it's too quick. I would like, okay, he did make an Oracle. I was going to say, an Oracle is actually better for detection in these situations.
Oh, agreed.
Because you can't really get near the spores and stuff with the observer, so just tag it and then you can fight.
There's going to be a warp in here. Not that much supply right now, so I don't know. Maybe he's going to warp DTs in here.
Well, throwing away a few units, so, you know, if you can warp in 6 Zealots, that's going to kill a lot of tech very quickly.
Oh, I don't think this is going to work at all.
No.
The Warp Prism's shot down. Corruptors come back in once again. One carrier is easily picked off there.
Yeah, massacred, really.
Yeah. Again, though, you know, Protoss isn't actually doing real damage here.
Right? That's what it feels like.
We're seeing this army kind of float around the edges of the Zerg, and the Zerg swatted away, and the Zerg continue to grow. And although it's been pretty exciting to see the very patient and calculated play here from SOS in development, he hasn't done anything.
That's the problem.
He hasn't. Zerg is just getting enough defense.
Well, they both have incredible banks. They both have armies that can theoretically be really cost efficient. So I'm not counting him out yet. Like, if he can keep the Zerg down to half map or less, like, theoretically there's still a chance, right? But his army, like, for instance, Archons can't attack into Lurkers, but we don't see him getting anything to really clear these areas. Whether it be Tempest, whether it be Disruptors. Those are the types of units that, you know, you can... That was funny. It was like, hey, deal damage to my stuff. But those are the type of units, right, where these spore fields can actually be cleared.
Right.
And that was kind of, I think, the idea behind the upgrades that we had to the Tempest.
You know, the spore count is high enough. The carriers can't really do anything. You know, you can't actually...
You don't really want to attack into that many spores. Like, you're gonna...
Yeah, there's nothing you can do.
When you get enough carriers, you can kill everything with them, yes. But if you get too many carriers, is that the right composition? Yes, Artosis there. You can never have too many carriers. But he doesn't... He's not really focusing on the carriers right now. Well, I already know the stupid meme stuff people are saying because they lose to it in whatever league they're in. It's like, okay, nice yoink in there. But still you can't attack that, even with a time warp there.
Yeah, it just seems like the Zerg is impregnable. There's like no way you can actually get close to that.
He's not making units that kill this stuff.
Yeah.
Tempest.
Well, this is cool.
Tempest can do it. Yeah, this is a good move. This is cool. I love...
Oh, man.
Okay. No. Yeah, that didn't seem to work out. I love this type of style, though, against these Hive Zergs, right, that are very high-tech. Oh, we see... Wow. Well, Cracklings are pretty good still.
Again, I don't feel like we're even having little victories for the Protoss. I think we're seeing cool ideas.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of novelty to this game specifically, but I don't know if it's going to produce the right results.
It's well put.
Zerg can lean into stuff like Lings, counterattacking. By the way, this might just get pinned over here.
Well, he can recall. It's only 4 or 5 broods. Good micro there by Armani. Got to draw him back out. Oh, well, he does recall, but only a piece of it.
Oh, that's annoying. And from here, yeah, Neural Parasite's going to be very strong. Wow.
Just picking off those Archons.
Now, keep in mind, this base up here that Protoss is taking, that's a base that Zerg can also easily take. In fact, it looks like already as the attack actually sets up for the defense of that new base.
Yeah.
So SOS is taking the upper right. Now, oh, man. Can he actually get all the way in there? I guess he can, right? He can go right through the middle?
Well, those are Banelings, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, a total blackout over here at this base.
Yeah.
He can kill off the probes. He can actually probably kill the Nexus, maybe even before it can finish. We've got Zealots coming through. I don't see anything to fight with this right now.
Well, those Zealots might actually get some decent damage done
my
if he
God,
splits them well.
He needs to use them.
All right, he has a lot in the main, so it looks like he's going to get a lot of tech. Oh, unfortunately, that is where the mothership's being made, and that's going to be knocked out just before it gets done. That's such a long time to make it, too. This is kind of crazy. We actually have Ultras being made now, which is something that definitely can counter the Zealots.
It's a funny situation where the Protoss can kind of behave like the Zerg by just sending Zealots everywhere, like it's Ling counterattacks. Like, the Zealots are just so expendable, especially when you're in this much of a gas tech heavy game. Just send them through. Take whatever fights you can get. I mean, for instance, getting the Spire, maybe he gets the Baneling's Nest.
I think he might have gotten, like, all the Spires. Did he get the Infestation Pit as well, I wonder?
Why is Armani not defending this?
You know what? What do you think he's making right now? Is he going to stay on Gateway units? I would like to see him... Oh, my God. That was... SOS is a butcher. Okay, he killed the Hive. Okay, he's getting the Infestation Pit. This would be a great time to add more air units back in.
I think you're right.
I actually would like Void Rays here, kind of. Or, I mean, Tempest to kill the Spores, maybe, though, because you still don't want to attack in when you
I think Tempest is better. I actually don't think you can use Void Rays here. I might be wrong.
I just want Void Rays to be used.
I know that you want that so badly, Artosis, but...
Yeah. I keep hearing these Plat stories about how good they are, you know? And I want that to be the pro scene.
So the damage that was dealt over here to Armani is pretty serious, but we need to see if it's going to be enough that allows him to close in on this. Because right now, and I think that if our Armani loses this, it is because he lost all of his tech. I mean, it's been a full-on reset. Infestation Pit taken out, the Hive taken out.
Well, Well, he's getting that layer back up.
Now,
a lot of carriers being made.
There is the space right over here. Yeah. This is now going to be one of these positions that can't be taken. And with this being under control here, I just don't think there's any actual way for the Protoss to win a fight over there. So now we also want to have our attention shift over to the upper right, because that's going to be the resource-rich locations that SOS is going to be scrambling to secure. And if SOS can secure them, it's possible that Zerg ends up being cost inefficient in the game overall. Will mine out more quickly, and then maybe you lose that way. But again, that's a long shot.
Wow. Do you see how many Broodlords he's actually making? I think he's misreading this situation, because he keeps seeing all the Archons and Stalkers, so against that, of course, you want less Corruptors and more Broods. But there's actually more carriers on the way. So when these carriers come out, this heavy Broodlord army is going to get just wrecked.
That's true, but can he do enough damage to this first of all, right?
Yeah.
This base is taken out. Now, this base, there's actually almost no minerals at it.
Yeah, there's not that much left.
It's like he takes it out. Okay, meh, not a huge deal.
No, not that big.
He does kill some workers. 11 workers go down. That's probably a bigger...
It's those right-hand bases, and that's what he's going after.
Now, can this be killed before the Protoss can come here to save it? I think the Protoss can actually fight this, but his army is slow. It's a very sluggish... And the lurkers here...
Yeah, he's going to kill it.
Oh, man. Now, I don't know how many minerals are in the upper right base, but I think that's going to be the only base that he can actually save. Whoa, what?
He doesn't have a detection? Okay, there
we go. I think the Broodlords might dive back in. He needs to get rid of that Nexus.
Yeah, he really wants
Armani's very close to just ending this game here.
Well, SOS still has money in the bank, and he still has a very scary army.
Yeah, true.
And he's still banking carriers. I want to say he's going to have 9 carriers in a second.
I just realized that there's actually a Nexus also being made at 3 o'clock. I did not see that up until now. Not that I think that'll stay
Armani has no idea.
Yeah.
So how many carriers is this? It's a lot, man.
Oh, I wish it wasn't covered up. I think it's something like
3,
9?
6, 9, 10.
10?
Yeah, and he's about to have a couple more, too.
Okay.
Look how many he has.
But there's so many spores here and so many corruptors, man. Can't you just kill the interceptors? Am I wrong?
Well, you can't just mind control.
Neural Parasite is a good ability.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man.
Don't worry.
I think SOS is dead.
The interceptors didn't get aggroed by the Archon, so that was good. But, ouch. Yeah, Armani's got it then.
I think we're going to have a very different game here in Game 2 from SOS.
I think you're right. This was a fascinating game, though. What a different way that SOS approached this.
Well, SOS really trying to change the entire way we look at the matchup. But, yeah. I mean, you know, Armani can always lean back into old scumbag Zerg tricks, right?
Yeah.
You just go into Broodlord, Corruptor, and Fester. GG, Armani wins.
Wow.
And that will bring us into Game 2. SOS, man, he's had a rough year, and I don't know if he's going to have a good finish either. That was...
Oh, Tasis, he's still getting out of this group.
Artosis, I don't know, man.
He could go down 0-2 against Armani.
I cannot cast this
guy.
And
then 0-2 against Bomber, and he's still getting out of this group,
I can't cast this guy with the heart-shaped glasses I used to cast him with, Artosis.
No, you're becoming bitter and
I'm jaded.
Cynical about him.
Yes, that's true. Let's go to Game 2. It's going to be on Ice and Chrome. I think the SOS has to have a completely different approach to this matchup. I think we need crazy, we need aggro, we need SOS to seize control of this game and to make Armani respect him here. I don't think we see passive play. I liked it. I thought it was pretty smart, but Armani had an answer. And I don't know. Let's load up Game 2 now. Let's go.
영광의 전투가 펼쳐진다. GSL을 위하여. 아프리카 프린스, 아르마니, 박진영. Junior Greens, SOS, 김유진.
All right. See what SOS is going to do with his back up against the wall.
I worry because SOS has really been a visionary for StarCraft 2 Protoss. Even if you actually take all the StarCraft 1 innovators, I think SOS is still one of the most innovative for the race. Like, he's done some of the craziest stuff we've ever seen with Protoss.
He really has.
But he is just not winning games anymore like he used to. You know, he's not... I want him to come back. I want his crazy strats to work, but right now he's doing very abstract, cool stuff this year and losing.
So far. But that was just the first game against Armani, and he did something very, very different. It didn't end up working. I think he's going to 2-0 from here and then 2-0 cure.
You think so?
Yeah, and then he's going to get out of the round of 16, and then out of the round of 8.
Wow.
And he's going to IM Katowice, man. that's that. He might win, too. Who knows? Someone's going to have to knock out Cyril for him. I don't think he's going to take that guy out, but give him a Protoss or Terran, yeah.
Okay. Well, in this game, let's see what kind of opening SOS has. It's easy to forget the early part of Game 1 because the last part was so much more impressionable.
Yes.
But SOS did go with Glaved Adepts in kind of a weird time.
Well, he went 3-gate. We started with the gate in the main. We saw this last year, towards the beginning of the year, people were doing this a little bit.
Yeah.
He was one of them. There was a couple other people that tried it, if I recall correctly. But anyways, it was like a very gradual build into the Glaives, right? A gradual build into an Oracle, a gradual build into the Glaives. It was very different. We never see anyone play like that. It's always just get the Oracle as quickly as possible or get Glaives as quickly as possible. Him, he's just like, nah, you know, I keep harassing 5 Adepts, and then eventually I have Glaives, and he's not quite ready.
Yeah. So, what is he going to do this time? We have a Stargate coming, so already a little bit of a different approach here. Oh, no, wait, he got a Stargate in the last game, didn't he?
He did, but it was after 3 gates. It was not early. Hopefully it's just another carry, but Void Ray!
Yes! Artosis, it must be your birthday.
It must be my birthday.
Wow. What if he just loses, though?
He's not going to. Watch.
So what does he want to do with the Void Ray then, you think?
Kill stuff.
Oh, win the game, tasteless.
Cheese tasteless. Well,
it's gonna get scouted.
Yeah, you can. They're quicker now, right? You can go run around, clean up some overlords. Maybe you can.
My face.
Let's see. Let me take a look. You could poke some of the gases. Some of the edge gases might be able to be poked, right? Maybe you can send over a couple more units and power stuff down. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see what he does with his Void Ray. It's way cooler than an Oracle. Look at it. It spins. That's how it keeps its gravity tasteless.
That's right. Look how aerodynamic it is, too.
Yeah. There's all these Protoss on board, and I mean, they don't want to get seasick, so they just got to spin it and keep that gravity.
It's got a little pylon in the front.
Yeah.
Little Artosis pylon right up there.
That's how he shoots. You got to shoot through the pylon. Everything's a pylon.
So where does he go? He's actually going in the middle here, so maybe not a gas snipe.
I think he's really looking for that Overlord that Armani dodged with.
Yeah, I think so. Not going to find it.
And by going through the middle, maybe that you'll see a Roach on the way or something. You can stop some sort of silliness before it begins.
Behind this, Roaches and Adepts. And nothing else was made besides that Phoenix.
Yeah, just Glaives on the way right now. 3rd Nexus. Void Ray still flying around.
Does he want the Void Ray to pair with the attack with the Adepts?
I think it's for killing Overlords for the most part.
Okay.
Maybe some safety. Because, like, if you see a Void Ray out, isn't it so hard to attack with anything Roach-based?
Oh, for sure. It'll just blast down everything. I guess this is another easy way to have a 3rd base get secured. Now, there are Lings coming in here to counterattack, and Void Rays are not great against lots of Lings.
That is very true. Void Rays do not excel against smallest things, of which there are many.
Oh,
no.
It's so funny.
All right, well, you know what? His Adepts are getting in, so maybe he gets some damage done there.
Yeah, but he needs to first save his probes.
Wow, there's a
Drones
spine.
are only just now getting killed, so the damage is actually being dealt much more quickly to SOS.
Look at all these spines that are around. Isn't that interesting? You don't normally see those this early. All right, so
yeah,
9
this is
probes killed. It looks like that's, oh, 10.
Keep in mind the Lings are much more expendable.
Yeah.
Even though Adepts are expendable, the Lings are the most expendable thing in the game.
Yeah.
And again, these Adepts have not done the damage they need to do. We do have a fleet beacon coming down here and another Stargate.
He's going to show Armani what's what.
Yeah.
He's like, Armani, you think that you can beat this twice? Mm-mm. I
don't think so, my friend.
I am a little bit surprised, though, that I thought he would change up like you were saying. Like, what's he going to be able to do with this?
He's opening in a different way, but he wants to end up in the exact same place.
But with a victory, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully with a win.
It's cool. I want it to work, Tasteless. It looks like a really fun way to play, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, this is definitely SOS coming out of the lab with something completely novel here. All right, this is a great shade, and the drones have been pulled, and I don't think a single drone was actually killed back there, by the way. I think he's literally not hurt a drone in this wave of an attack. So,
yeah.
I mean, maybe forcing a cancel on the hatch, something.
Oh, we're going to upgrade some Void Rays, Tasteless.
Let's do it. Yeah, this is not doing anything, man. I think SOS is actually in a lot of trouble here, guys.
But is he keeping him busy at least, right?
Artos is keeping him busy.
Keeping him busy or distracting him,
Yeah, he sure is busy, Artosis. You're right. Listen, guys, Armani's ahead in every way, but he is being kept pretty busy here.
Yeah, dude, no, he's keeping him off his back so he can get his carriers out. Tasteless. Okay, wait, where are the carriers?
I don't know.
Did he cancel the carriers?
Maybe he's going to just make Void Rays.
Maybe he
I don't see carriers anywhere.
Yeah,
anywhere.
Suddenly Corruptor's probably across the map, but he canceled the carriers? Is that what we're going to see?
Ready the flux veins.
Tasteless, did he not finish the carriers?
I don't think he finished them. I don't see them anywhere.
Okay, Void's on the way.
Flux veins.
Void Ray Stalker, have you ever seen a comp like that?
The first year of the game, I did. I did, yeah.
Oh. Okay. Did it work? Was it good?
No, it didn't work. Well, it actually might have worked. I don't remember. But in this game, I don't know how good this is. He has not.
He canceled the voids.
My.
Cancels everything.
This is a sad game. This game makes me want to cry.
Until he wins. Hold on. Oh, here
Artos
come the Corruptors, though.
Artos, you can't just not make anything the whole game. Okay, that's what's happening here. He's getting upgrades.
You get all your money back for canceling units, Tasteless.
He has to use his money to make something to fight to win. Okay, he can't just keep canceling stuff.
No, dude, he's got 1,500 in the bank, man. That's good. He's saving that.
All those Stargates do is increase the property value of his real estate. It's like having a swimming pool in your backyard. This is not. You don't win by just having this.
Dude, you just don't get it, man. He's going to buy Protoss Bitcoin and sit on it, okay? And by the final match of the night, he's going to be rich.
Yeah, that's what it is.
This is so
This is
weird.
like SOS just built a sauna in his garage that he never used.
I feel like right now he's being a magician. Like he's tricking Armani in a bunch of ways. But the thing is, eventually, he's still just going to be killed, right? Like, you can't stall him out forever. You can't keep him busy forever.
Yeah. Oh no, I guess those things will have a use anyways.
He has got to use that battery. He's going to lose it.
Oh my god, I think Armani might be very close to just winning this game. But he's keeping him busy. As Artosis says.
Tasteless.
Oh,
it's important.
What a busy bee this guy is.
Does he even have time for all the stuff he has to do?
So, like, in what universe does Protoss win this? Does he start Void Rays now? What do you think?
Oh, gosh.
This is
the weirdest game, Tasteless. He has actually made and canceled so many things, and then he just ended up making some stalkers.
No.
And those Corruptors that aren't even useful, Tasteless, because he canceled his air units. They killed his Nexus and his Warp Prism. So it seems like they are useful.
I think that Zerg can counterattack in here and win now. Look at this naked fourth base. These things will get on it. Oh my god. This is actually, in some ways, one of the most brutal games we've casted. because things are so not working right now.
Dude, it is.
Look, he's going to not save this in time.
I don't know why he's not healing. Okay, he is healing. There it is.
Oh,
That's why
he exactly. Never mind.
There we go.
He's
oh,
still
you can't
got a
say
shot.
he knew anything exactly, Tasteless. Not after the games we've been seeing today.
Zerg continues to grow and flourish. We have 37 Banes and 42 more Lings about to hatch.
Oh my god.
Which is going to be so much that I just don't imagine Protoss can do anything but try to blink and kite away as much as possible while losing whatever base that fight happens under.
If he accidentally detonates all his Banes,
yeah,
like, SOS would live a little bit longer than this.
oh my god, 15 probes killed here. GG.
Okay.
That is not what I call a great series.
That was weird. I mean, well played by Armani. It was
Yeah.
so much weird stuff coming his way, but he kept his cool and played a strong game. SOS, like, there's a level where you can mind game too much, and it's just better to make stuff.
Well, look, I mean, he had some pretty tricky cancels, but ultimately he didn't actually have anything. He was just canceling and juking and jiving, weaving and bobbing, and not actually making anything. And so Corruptors come and ooze down your buildings.
Ooze down.
Yeah.
Well, that means Armani goes to our winner match. It'll be interesting to see how he does against Cure, right? Because he lives with Special, which means his ZDT is probably very, very good.
We're going to go to that break now. Up next, the winner's match. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
원투 딜을 많이 넣거든요. 방금 원투인 다음에 해피드 선수가 각을 맞힐 거라고 생각했던 것 같아요. 그래서 짬바를 먼저 끊어줬고 만약에 저기서 어퍼를 했으면 큰일 났거든요. 자, 저기에서 하단 긁어주고 지금 적으로 무빙으로